Welcome to Soto Creations, where we make your imagination a reality. I'm continuing on the video I just finished of the big black balloon bow. If you remember well, we did that. I'll actually show you behind me. There, that's the balloon. I wanted to split this up in two parts so it's not too long for you guys. Right here, I have the drapes that I'm gonna put up, design it, and then I'll show you how I hang the balloon onto the drape. I haven't quite decided where I'm gonna hang it, but I have something in mind. I think I'm gonna center it and just create a beautiful design. You've probably already seen the thumbnail, but let's do this real quick and I'll show you how we create beautiful swoops with our fabric. You ask a lot about my fabric in the comments when I do drapes. I personally like the 4-way stretch fabric. Some people like the 2-way stretch. I like the 4-way because you can pretty much design in different directions and it gives you that flow to the fabric. I like the sequin, not for the flow, but for the texture it gives to the backdrop, as well as the crush, the crinkle fabric. But today we're gonna use all 4-way stretch fabrics, and I'm gonna design a black and white backdrop for any event. All right, we're starting with the pipe and drape stand. So I have this stand. Mine is the type that goes up to 14 feet. You can get different heights. You can get one that's steady. Let me show you the setup I have here so that if you... This is my pipe and drape kit, the one I have. So I usually have it linked down, but I have the first crossbar going to the back. Don't pay attention to my 260 here. Those are the ones I use for another balloon. Just pay attention to the... So I have this one first on the back, hooked up to my upright here, going along the back there. And same thing on that side. Then I have my valance hanger. I believe this is the 4-inch one, hooked up to the front. Each of these poles have a hole on all 4 sides. So the first one is here, you have one opposite and then crossway opposite. So you can create kind of a square with it. So now I have the valance hanger and a second crossbar right here. So I'm working on the back one first to do a black all the way at the back, and then we'll do the front. So just do a close-up so you understand how I'm hooking everything up here. All right, back to the setup. So I'm gonna use black and white drapes today. With my pipe and drape kit, I purchased the one that goes up to 14 feet so that I'm able to extend as high as I need to, but most of my designs stay around 8 to 9 feet tall. So I like when the designs are tall and wide because it covers, creates a good backdrop. But you can purchase different kinds. I also like that the minimum height for my uprights here are 6 feet. So that gives me good enough height to reach my drapes and hang them. Some come 8 feet where you have to stand on a ladder or stand on a chair to put your drape. So this is ideal, and I can raise it more if I need to. So I put 6 panels of the black. I'm gonna show you my pleats so you make sure when you do it, yours are not. So see how they pleat? That's even a little loose here. So you kind of gather everything evenly. You can see how they're all even across, right? That's what you want. There's a gap here, so you want to gather everything nice and even. It's a close-up of what I'm doing. Now we're gonna work on the front crossbar. So we're gonna put a layer of white. Initially I put a few and then I decide to change my design because my thought process is when I hang my bow, I want it to show through the design, but we'll see as we go, as we design. I just wanted something fairly simple, but that I can also show the balloon bow because that's what the tutorial was all about, how to hang the balloon bow. So just doing something quick to show you. I have another black and white design that I'm planning to do with balloons instead of the drapes, just something that has more bows with some accent bows on the balloons. So we're going to do that later on throughout this series. So you can see here I decided to take off the black in the middle and add 2 more panels of the, or I guess 1 more panel of the white to the one that was previously on the end, and then add the black on the end. That way I have the white in the middle, so when I put my balloon bow in the middle, they can still see the balloon bow. So I'm taking off that white that was on the end, putting it back on, then another white, then adding the black at the very end, so that the black kind of creates that cap. To me, it looked at the end kind of like a suit. And I guess if I did the bow without the bottom pieces hanging, then it could look like a bow tie. That could be an option as well for a birthday party or anything like that, for husbands or a guy, or, you know, someone who likes that, the suit or any formal event. We're doing the same thing here, evening out all our design. Now I'm taking some 260Q balloons or 260 balloons and tying in between the drape. Now I can attach my bow. I have my loop for the balloon smaller than I normally would to put around the 11-inch balloon. So we do that and we're able to attach the balloon. You can see where it's kind of tilted sideways. So we're going to add another 260 balloon in between some of the white drapes. I'm just pulling the ones that were already on the side there, as I showed earlier, tying that in between those 2 white drapes and then creating another loop so I can put it through the 5-inch balloon to keep it in place. And of course, with balloons, you can always make adjustments. Since I did that on the left side, I'm repeating the same thing on the right so that the balloon stays in place. Now, keeping the design like this, we could leave it as is. It'll just be simple drapes with the balloon on the top. That would be fine as well. But my plan here was to walk you through some of the swoops that I do. So now that we have all the drapes on and arranged evenly across and our balloon is on, I'm able to raise it to the height I want. And as you see, I step back to see if it was tall enough for me. Now I'm just checking to see if I want to attach those hanging pieces of the bow to the side or if I'm going to leave it just pending down. But I moved the black drapes out of the way and I'm pleating my white, 2 of the white drapes in my fingers. Then I attach it to my pole. Wherever I attach to the pole here, I keep in mind there are a few holes on the pole there, and I just use that to gauge where I'm attaching so that I can do that on the other side. Now for this one, you want to hold it where it's going to attach to what you already have, and then you're going to fold it in your arm. That's how you create a deeper swoop in your fabric. Then with the pipe cleaner, I'm just tying that around. You can also use 260 for this as well. I was thinking you guys couldn't see the full bow, so this is where I'm trying to figure out, do I want to tie it this way or do I just want to leave them hanging? So that's the bow done. That's the left side done. Moving on to the right, we're going to pretty much repeat the same process. I am just pleating the fabric in and out, and then 2 of them going to the left, and of course tying that in place. And we're going to pull our 3rd white fabric. I'm checking here to see how high I attach to make sure that it's where I want it. So this one, you go where you're going to tie, and then you're just going to gather in your hand. And when you do this, to me, it ends out being perfect every time. You don't have to really gauge them because you know exactly where it's going to attach, and you're just folding it within your hand. Now we're pretty much done with the design. What's left is just to gather all our fabric. There I was cutting the string that was hanging off the side. You have to always finish your drapes by creating your puddles, your puddle for the fabric. The tricky part is not just having a blob of fabric on the floor, but creating kind of a flow in the fabric so that it's tucked in nicely and creates that nice seamless design on the bottom. If you have different colors, you want to make sure the colors are showing on the bottom as well, so that it's seamless and it flows very well. So you can see me tucking. Most of my drapes are about 14 feet tall, and this design was 9 feet. So you can see where I'm tucking to get all that extra fabric under. Of course, if you have shorter drapes, you're not gonna have as much fabric to tuck. So we're pretty much done. Make sure you're subscribed and click the notification bell so you don't miss the rest of the videos that we post on bows. We are all done. Let me know what you want to see next, and thank you so much for subscribing.